Welcome to Ladders, where we break down the guys you should add and the guys you should drop in your fantasy football leagues. Slim pickings after week 9. Half the NFL season's done. All the good players mostly scooped up. We're still going to try and talk about the guys who could fix your season or potentially make it much worse. I am FTW's Christian DeAndre. He is a Rhode Island scumbag, Mike. Yash, Yash, and Yash, how you feeling today?
Feeling okay. Got a little overzealous during the Patriots-Falcons game, so it was a rough re-entry Monday for me this week. But overall, it was kind of a nail biter. Wasn't one of our what we're getting used to now as Patriots fans, our typical Sundays. But hey, they got it done, and that's all that mattered.
One of the most Falcons outcomes possible. Didn't even bother establishing the run. They said, let's just throw it all over this Patriots defense. Had no problem. Drake London just being big.
Yeah.
But ultimately it worked out. The Pats are 7-2. And we are going to talk about the guys who showed out in week 9 and whether or not you should add them. And if you do, who you should drop them for. Starting with a quarterback who made some waves. J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. Now, McCarthy, only 29% owned in Yahoo leagues for good reason. He's been hurt. He's been bad. But 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, another touchdown on the ground. A guy who can make things happen with his legs, but also a guy who's taken way too many sacks. Yeah. So start off with a guy on his level, 22% owned, Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins. Yash, do you want Tua? Do you want JJ?
I'll take my chances with JJ here. I don't think either is a great option. However, of the two, JJ's got better weapons at this point. Does Tua have anything left? Besides, I mean, we have Jalen Waddle if he sticks around, if they don't trade him, Devon Achane. But I mean, really, it comes down to McCarthy's got, he's got Jefferson, he's got Addison, still got Hawkinson, and I kind of like that for him, and I also like his schedule better down the stretch. So between those two, if I have to pick between the two of them, I'm going to roll with McCarthy, but I'm not thrilled about it.
See, the schedule I'm not too worried about because there are a lot of AFC East teams in there, and Bills coming alive in the secondary. Cole Bishop putting some hits on some guys in the Chiefs lineup. That aside, I do think there's some opportunity for Tua, and we did see him briefly rise up with a 4-touchdown game, but like you said, the weapons aren't there. The blocking hasn't been good. Now, that's a problem for J.J. McCarthy as well. He's taken way too many sacks. And if you're in a league that, subtracts points every time your quarterback gets hit in the backfield, that could be an issue. Yeah, that's our scumbag league. It sucks.
Yep.
Got to remember not to swear so YouTube doesn't throttle us again, costing us tens and tens of views out there. But for me, even though the floor is much lower than Tua, the ceiling is so much higher with a guy like McCarthy who can run. So, yeah, give me JJ. Going from a guy who can run to a guy who cannot run, Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, 2 years removed from the torn Achilles, so he is rolling out a little bit more but scrambling way less. Yash, do you want the steady play of Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, or would you prefer the high ups and Disneying lows of JJ McCarthy?
I'm going to take this one down to roster construction. If you have a roster that is somewhat stable at your other positions and you can afford a little more boom bust, then go with McCarthy here. If you have a lot of fluctuation week to week and you just need somebody steady, Rodgers is going to get you between 16 and 22 points pretty much verbatim every single week. So again, this one's going to come down to me, roster construction. I don't love either one of these guys anyway, so if you need the upside, I would say then go with McCarthy. But if you just need something to stabilize your roster, then stick with Rodgers here.
Yeah, I think we're typically looking at like a 1 week fill-in, right? Maybe you had Jayden Daniels and Dan Quinn got him exploded for no friggin' reason last night. But for the most part, this is bye weeks. This is short-term injuries. And a guy like J.J. McCarthy, you don't know what you're going to get out of him any given week. So if you want to take the stability, go with Rodgers. He's getting the ball out really quickly. It's crushing the fantasy value of his wideouts because he's targeting his tight ends. He's not throwing the ball downfield. Actually, his average target distance is much shorter than it's ever been at any point in his career. But he's also getting hit a lot less. He's taking a lot fewer sacks. He's avoiding negative plays because he's still a smart, cerebral quarterback who gets rid of the ball and finds open receivers. Like you said, every week he's going to get you between 16, 22 points. That's it. He's right in that in that range. It's not going to get too much better than that, but he's also not going to do too much worse. So I
No.
agree with you there. Depends on your roster construction. If it's a 1 week fill in, go Rodgers. If you're swinging for the fences, take a flyer on JJ McCarthy. Finally, 48% owned, 4 rushing touchdowns his last 4 games. Former number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yash, 2 young-ish quarterbacks, iffy teams. Who do you want running your fantasy roster, Trevor or JJ?
If you asked me at the beginning of the season with a full allotment of weapons, I would say Lawrence. At this point in the season, he's throwing to a bunch of 2s and 3s. So I'm going to roll with McCarthy here, I guess, because we still have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison that he can throw the ball to. Now, there's no knock against Parker Washington, but Parker Washington is Parker Washington.
Famously
he
true.
Who
yes.
He is. He's been showing out. He's looked great. But I mean, he's not a true NFL number 1 receiver here. Now, keep in mind, they also don't have their number 1 tight end in Brenton Strange either. So now at this point, you could possibly be down Brenton Strange, Brian Thomas Jr., and you still don't know what the heck is going on with Travis Hunter. So in this case, I mean, I just don't like what it looks like moving forward for T-Law. So, I mean, I guess I'm going McCarthy here. But once again, not the greatest choice between the two.
Yeah, this one's really a coin flip for me. The one thing I really did like what I saw in that Minnesota game was that McCarthy can fit the ball in the tight windows. He's making some good decisions. He's making some bad ones too. He's a rookie quarterback. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that game-sealing throw to Jalen Naylor, and that was a low percentage throw that he made happen. You know, sheer force of will. And he's going to be able to run. Now, I said it before, Lawrence has those 4 rushing touchdowns, but he only has 5 designed runs on the year. He's not going to be an engine on the ground whatsoever. He might scramble every now and then and get you a little something, right, but you're going to have to rely on his arm. And this is a guy who's had 1 multiple passing touchdown game in his last 6 outings. I think I want the upside of McCarthy because the floor on Lawrence, like you mentioned, with those skill players around him, does threaten to drop out.